In today's episode, we have Trisha Belmonte with us, and she is going to share her journey into online course creation and how she helps others create online courses. You will also get to hear why Udemy is still a major player when it comes to selling your own online courses, how to position yourself in your niche to market your course, and some tips for getting the most out of the Udemy marketplace. And now, on with the show. Welcome to the Online Course Igniter podcast, where you'll hear from successful course creators and how they were able to turn their passion into a thriving online business empire. Hey everyone, thank you for listening to the podcast today. We have a special guest with us, Trisha Belmonte from Built to Sell Online Courses, who is an expert in online marketing and sales funnels and creating a wonderful online course product for her clients. And I'm super excited to have you on the show today and just kind of dive into some of the marketing aspects of online courses. So how are you doing today, Trisha?
I'm doing great, Jeremy. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, definitely. Super excited to talk to you and really hit on one of my favorite topics, which is marketing. It's exciting that we kind of can go deep into how we can help other course creators out there make sure that they're getting their audience right and getting their marketing messaging right and really setting themselves up for success. But as anyone knows, if they listen to this podcast more than one or two episodes, I always like to hear people's stories and where they come from. So what were you doing before you got into online courses and online business in general?
Before online courses, I was doing marketing. I've been in marketing for over 20 years. It's my passion as well. So I totally get you when you say you could talk about marketing, because I could just go on forever about marketing. So basically my strength was marketing, and I specialized in SEO. So helping people rank on Google. The way I got into online courses is SEO is something I specialize in, like I said, with Google. So helping people rank on the first page of Google. And I was asked a few years ago to teach at the YWCA and to help entrepreneurs get launched in their businesses. And I knew if these guys didn't get started right away online and get discovered, they'd be in a lot of trouble. So basically what I had to do is take SEO and break it up. I only had like 3 hours to teach them. So can you imagine teaching SEO in only 3 hours and all the things they needed to do to rank on Google? So I had to take the most important steps, break it down for an audience that was not familiar with marketing, and make it easy for them to understand. And essentially, after I was done and people were getting it and people were actually putting their businesses online, I got really excited and I thought, there's a lot more people that could benefit from this. Is like globally, there must be entrepreneurs who are in the same boat who just need to quickly get discovered online. So I took my material and I developed my very first online program.
Okay, very cool. So, and that first program was around SEO particularly.
Exactly. Yeah. And I launched my first SEO program on Udemy. And that was about 7 years ago now.
Yeah, it was kind of the wild, wild west back there, wasn't it?
Completely. It was really hard to find like strategies for ranking and stuff. But I guess I got lucky because I put my SEO course up. Everybody was making SEO so complicated. So when I came out with mine and I called it a step by step and I made it like really down to the basic stuff people needed to know, it got found. I got a lot of students like really quickly.
Okay, and then was this all based off of Udemy's search marketplace, or were you driving students to that course also?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And it's really important for people to know because Udemy is fabulous for marketing, but the best way to use Udemy is to do a little bit of your own marketing, and then Udemy's marketing will kick in, because Udemy does a lot of, when you see those ads following people around the internet because they check something out, Udemy is fabulous for that. So if you could drive people to something and drive people to your course, then Udemy's marketing team will follow them around the internet and keep bringing them back to your course. So that's why a lot of times, if you look at your Udemy numbers, usually your percentage of people that got to your landing page, the percentage of people who bought is usually pretty, or should be really high because of that. So there's definitely Udemy marketing strategies that I've learned over the years. But for the most part, you could just jumpstart it a little bit, and Udemy's marketing just picks it up from there. So even if you do a little bit of effort, like now it's a lot more competitive, but back then you would do just a tiny bit of effort and you would just get numbers.
You're absolutely right. Based on my own experience and with talking to other top Udemy instructors like Phil Ebner and Jason Dion and people like that, they say the same thing that
Mhm.
if you provide traffic and that traffic converts and makes sales on the platform, it's like Udemy notices that their algorithm picks that up, and then they'll start promoting you more, like you said, through retargeting ads or a landing page.
That's exactly it. And the good thing is it doesn't even have to be paid programs. So even if you run free coupons, which has been one of my little secret marketing strategies, I mean, those are the platforms where the people just sit, just waiting for courses to go on sale or to be offered for free. And the SEO power behind those is crazy. So not only will you rank on Google for your course, but it really, really drives up those Udemy algorithms go nuts, and they're just like, oh, everybody wants this, everybody wants this, and then you could just kind of sit back for like an entire month, and literally sales will just start coming in, and then you just do it again, and then you watch your sales come in, and it takes very little effort, really.
Yeah, definitely. And thinking back to those early days, 7 years ago when you first started and you're putting your first course up on the platform, what was that like? I mean, did you know how to create a course, or was this your very first effort creating a course? I mean, what were your thoughts going through that time?
It's funny because when I went in, I didn't think of myself as a course creator. I thought of myself more as somebody, like I said, like I had that experience actually teaching live. And I used to do a lot of seminars as well. So I had experience already teaching components of SEO. And then I had experience teaching my full SEO program live to the students at YWCA. And I did that 3 times to them. So when you have that experience teaching live and getting that live feedback where you can listen to people's questions, see how they digest your material, you kind of learn what's working, learn what's not. It makes your course a lot more powerful because you know how to modify it and you know what parts to include and exclude. And so by the time you launch, you've already got something without even really trying too hard to figure out how to structure it. You've already got something that flows in the right order and in the order people need to learn in order to understand it. So, I mean, there is obviously formats you can follow, and that people should follow on how to lay out their lessons and lay them out, how to lay them out, and all of that. But I think if you just naturally just teach people and you have that end goal in mind, you're naturally just going to come out with the material in the way that people need to learn. Now, there's a whole bunch of marketing strategies to make your courses better and stuff, but if you get a chance to do lives, it's a whole other experience that'll help your course. And nowadays, we've got the wonderful opportunity to teach the lives online, and those are called pre-sale courses. So with pre-sale courses, it's a very smart marketing strategy. You're taking what you know how to teach, you're teaching it to a live audience, maybe like once a week or something. You learning how to make it better, and then you go ahead and build your course based on that.
Yeah, I love that you say that. It's funny because I actually did a Facebook Live in my group earlier today doing like a ask me anything, and this subject got brought up, and I expounded on it for about 15 or 20 minutes because I feel like so many people, myself included, I made this mistake. You come from a place of teaching live events and live seminars. I did not do that. I was, I was an expert at something and I knew I wanted to create a course. So I went out and made this course and try to sell it before ever talking to anyone. And now looking back, I know that the correct way is to do what you said, go teach people, go help them, find out what questions they have. And so I think it's super important to do those live events or live, pre-sale course creation methods so that you can really get the right information in that course.
Oh, absolutely. And you learn so much. Like if you're doing it for the right reasons and you're doing it to help your audience will guide you. Like they will tell you what they need. You can watch them apply it. And the great thing about doing a live, or even if you don't want to do a full live version, you can even just do 1 week where just like, hey everybody, like you did today. It's just like, hey everybody, I'm on. I'll answer any questions you have about this very specific topic. This is what we're going to cover. You're going to learn so much. And doing lives nowadays is so easy. I mean, you could do Facebook lives, you could put it on YouTube lives, you could do an Instagram story. You could just get that immediate feedback on any topics you're interested in. And that doesn't just apply to your own audience. I mean, luckily online, and especially with marketing, I love doing what I call like, marketing spying hacks, where you can find out what your competitors are talking about and what they're doing well and where they're getting the most interaction and most engagement. And then you're like, oh, that's a great topic. I should include that in my course too, right? So the more you listen,
Mm.
the more your course is going to be powerful and precisely what your audience is looking for.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. That's great information. So when you put this course up, what was it like in the beginning? Did you have sales right away and it blew up and you made $1 million overnight, or was it a long process? Did you create more courses? Like what did it look like when you first got on the platform?
I got pretty lucky. I did get a lot of students really quickly. But anybody who's on Udemy knows Udemy always has their own promos. So people, when they go to Udemy, they're usually not going to pay more than like about $10 US per course. Unless you get like a ton of students, it's going to be hard to become a millionaire on Udemy. Like some people do. And it also depends on your topic, right? If you're an expert in IT or anything to do with a lot of the things like Python or coding or whatever, you can make a lot of money on Udemy. Actually, if any of your audience is in those fields and good at it, come talk to me. I'll do your course for free and take a cut of your percentage, because I'll be a millionaire just doing that, because it's insane how much money those people make. But if you're in like the typical type things, like you're like a mindset coach or a podcaster, or in me like marketing or social media or whatever, you're in a very, very saturated space. So even if you're on the first page, because I rank on the first page of Udemy all the time, but it doesn't mean I get sales, but I don't get ton of sales, because it's just so saturated. They've got so many other options. But I really want people to realize, and I always stress this to other people, the advantage of being Udemy is not just sales, it's the recognition. I've gotten global clients from it. And I've got at the end of last year, I got a huge client because they watched my training on Udemy. So when you have a Udemy course, or you're teaching something like on Udemy or off Udemy, you become the subject expert. And it's something that your competitors are probably not doing. So just imagine if you had a client and you're going after that client and a whole bunch of your competitors going after the client, and you say to your client, look, I know you've got other options. Well, why don't you take my training for free? You guys can learn a few things. And this is just my gift to you. It's very powerful, because your competitors aren't doing that. You're automatically become that authority in your industry. And not only that, if anybody's read what's that book called? The Power of Persuasion. One of the best marketing
Mhm.
tactics you could ever use is the reciprocity tactic, where if you give somebody something for free, they're going to feel obligated to give you something back. So just imagine how powerful it is if you're going after a big client, right? So I've gotten clients off it. I've been found online. I've been asked to do all kinds of podcasts and online webinars through my courses. It's just very powerful in many, many other ways.
Okay, very good. Yeah, that's a great point that it's not just, trying to make some money, but I've had people reach out to me on some of the courses that I've created through Messenger or through email, and you can make some great relationships that way. So thinking about the person who's just starting out, and this is a question that I get asked often, and something that I think about and would like to hear your take. So say that someone is an expert in a skill set, and maybe it's not a super popular one like programming, but maybe it's playing a guitar or baking a cake or something like
Hmm.
that, and they want to create an online course. They've heard about Udemy and you have that path. Do you go to Udemy first, or should you publish on your own platform first? Because I've heard varying differences of which one to you. When do you know that you should maybe put a course on Udemy versus going towards your own platform?
Well, I'm so glad you asked that question, Jeremy, because I get that question all the time, and I see it online, and I see some really bad responses to it too. And it really is not, there's a like in my opinion as a marketer, there's a very clear cut definition of when you should use each, and that's your audience. So if you already have an audience, and I'm not just talking about number wise, I'm talking about the audience that are so loyal to you that if you say I've got this thing, they're like, oh my god, you got the thing, I want the thing, and they get all excited. Okay, if you've got something like that, your absolute best marketing option in that scenario is you do your research anyway, because you always start with research with marketing. It's just a smart thing to do. Find your keywords and stuff. Then what you do is you build a framework. Then from the framework, you sell it, and that's your pre-sell. And your pre-sell, you take your course after you do pre-sell, you make it better, you create your course, you put it on your own platform because you are going to have the numbers. You have a warm audience, you got people waiting. Do your own thing. Go to Thinkific, go to Kajabi, go to Teachable. It doesn't matter. I'm doing LearnDash myself on WordPress. Take one of those, go sell it, go make a lot of money. You're going to be successful. And the more you do your lives, the more you learn, the better. Okay, so do you take that route? Now, for those who don't have that audience yet, who are just starting out, your absolute best bet is, again, do the right research. And if people, by the way, just a quick aside, if they don't know the right research to do, I've actually, at the end, I'm going to give you a URL. I'm going to give you a free training on the absolute best research you can do to kickstart your online course. So they do the right research, they get their answers, they figure out who their avatar is, they figure out where their avatar is hanging out, all of that wonderful stuff. They create a very basic course for beginners, nothing fancy, just showing your expertise, put it up on Udemy. Udemy will help you market. You do some very basic Udemy market, get your numbers, learn what it's like to start ranking, listen to your questions, and watch those Udemy analytics. Because the other thing Udemy is fabulous at, it'll give you the analytics. Which of your lessons are people listening to? Where are they dropping off? How much of each percentage of lesson are they listening to? So then you can very quickly learn that lesson's pretty crap because people watch 10% and they drop off. Or this lesson's excellent, they watch 100% of it. You listen to the questions, you make your course better. You start there. It's an excellent way, and start driving people to the Udemy course, start talking about your course, start learning your marketing basics, start learning where your audience is. That, to me, is the absolute best way to get started if you don't have an audience.
Okay, cool. And then I'm going to ask you a follow-up question, which is, comes pretty often with this is, let's say that you are brand new and you do the methods that you talk about, you put your course up on Udemy and it starts doing very well. And then you realize that you don't really have an audience outside of Udemy. How do you start building an audience outside of that platform? Because I know from experience, and if anyone's listening who isn't aware, when you are selling on the Udemy marketplace, they have the control of the student information, and it's kind of their business that you're putting your course on. And if you try to send them to a different paid offer off of Udemy, they don't really like that because they like to keep people on their platform. So what are some marketing examples or some things that you can do to start also building an audience outside of Udemy?
Well, I've got a few strategies for you, but I'd first like to address the Udemy thing because after being on Udemy for a while, you learn some things you can get away with, if I can say that. So there is actually ways to pull your audience off Udemy. You have to, of course, be very careful. And if you break Udemy rules, they do get really mad at you and they can remove your course. So you just want to be really careful. One thing they allow you to do that most people don't know is you absolutely can't send them to like a landing page. No, do not do that. You can't send them to anything marketing wise, whatever, but you can send them to helpful content. So what you would then do is you would take whatever you're trying to sell or whatever product you've got or whatever, you create a really valuable tip filled content blog post on it, put that on your website. Then you send your email to Udemy people and say, hey, I've got this really helpful blog post. Send it there. And what Udemy actually allows you to do is if you have a blog post, you're actually allowed to put one ad on your blog post. And it has to be like a pop-up ad, but they only like a very specific tool. Now that you guys are all excited about it, I'm going to forget the name of that tool. It's a free pop-up thing that they actually don't mind. So you pop it up, and just you put the link of where you actually want them to go. So it's like, if this is helpful and you want more, go here, and then you can send them to your landing page. So it's kind of a little trick to get around that. And maybe in the description notes, I'll find that for you, that pop-up thing that they don't mind. So just make sure you create that helpful content, and it does actually have tips for them that they can learn from. And then I think your second part of the question was about marketing outside Udemy to build your audience, right? Yeah, so there are many strategies that I'm a big Facebook ads person, just because I've done it for so many years. I always get really good results. But one thing that's super powerful for people, and it's not as hard as you think, is YouTube. And the reason YouTube is really good to market your courses, whether you're to drive people back to Udemy or whether you put it on your own platform, is with YouTube, you gotta just imagine when people are taking your course, it's usually because they want to learn the material, but also because they like you and they want to resonate with you and how you teach and your teaching style. When you're on YouTube and you're doing a little tiny lesson on your specific niche and topic, you're going to grab people's attention who want more of what you're saying because they resonate with you so much, especially if you're an expert in your field, to be like, whoa, I need more of that. That was so cool. Where can I get more? And then what you're going to do is you're going to link back to your course. You're going to link back to your course in your description, because YouTube is a fabulous place to sell, and they allow it, not like any other social media platform. So you're going to put it in your description. You're going to put it at the end of your video. You're going to put it in your About Us section on your YouTube page. You're going to put it on your trailer, because your trailer can have a call to action. These are the places people with online courses or Udemy courses are picking up literally hundreds of extra students from YouTube. So I would say just scrap everything else, just go to YouTube.
Yeah, I love the YouTube method, because I feel like YouTube is very similar to online courses. Is how I kind of always explain it. Is that it's a direct correlation to you're watching videos on YouTube, and now you're going to buy a video online course, and it just makes sense, you know?
It just makes sense. Yeah, exactly. It's just like they go hand in hand. And you can do like teasers. You could do a whole lesson, just like, hey, YouTube audience, here's a free entire lesson from my course, which is worth whatever it's worth, right? And people are like, wow, that's so cool, valuable. Yeah, it's crazy. And if you guys end up doing YouTube, like absolutely TubeBuddy is going to be your best friend. Get TubeBuddy, get the free version, because you are going to learn how to get some of that marketing done. That's going to tell you what your topic should be, what you should be naming things, give you an idea of how much of audience you can get. Like, you learn so many clues that when you actually produce your videos, they have a much higher chance of going viral. So get on TubeBuddy, guys.
Nice. We'll link that up in the show notes. I'm going to ask you the $1,000,000 question about YouTube. That is a pretty common question too that I see. Is why would someone want to get a course or buy a course from you when all of that information is on YouTube already?
It's all about your positioning. Because if you put like a teaser lesson and you break it up and you can make it simple for them to understand, people are naturally going to want more. They're not going to want to go to a different million YouTube channels. Like, if they like you, they trust you, and you say, look, guys, if you're serious about learning this, you need this thing, because this is going to cover this and this and this. They're going to be like, yeah, I really liked what Trisha said, and I do need those things she just said. Like, they're going to be like, it's just with an online course, it's just broken down exactly in the order that they need it presented. The most important thing about online courses and marketing funnels, like, think of your course as a marketing funnel. You have to know what that end goal is. What's the biggest desire your audience has? And if you become that person that could help them get there, they are going to stick with you. And whatever you recommend, they're going to listen to you and they're going to do it. So if you say, you need this next step, you need this part in order to get to your end thing, you need to know this, and I could break this up for you the best, they'll be like, I believe you. Okay, let's do it, right? So it's just all about being in touch with your audience, and the more you give them, the more they'll believe in you.
Hello, course creators. Are you struggling with marketing and selling your online course? If so, then head over to our free community where successful course creators are ready to help you create, market, and sell your expertise. Go to onlinecourseigniter.com/community now to join. That's onlinecourseigniter.com/community. So let's talk about the sales funnels. So, say you have your YouTube channel and you're providing good value on there, and then you have, say, a Udemy course. I know very many successful online instructors who send people from YouTube to Udemy, and that's their business, and it works very well. I know you mentioned putting the course like in the links and the descriptions and cards and so forth, but what about like a sales funnel? Do you ever offer some kind of freebie or lead magnet? Are you capturing email addresses? What is your take on all that?
Oh my gosh. My take is yes, you should do it. Absolutely. So remember I said in the description you want to add a link to your course. You're going to have people who are just like, oh my God, I need this like now, just and they're desperate. Like they need that solution. And then you're going to have the people who are just like, I get it. I like it. I'll get there when I get there. You can have those types of people. And then you're going to have the people that are just like, yeah, that's nice to know, right? Like there's always different
Mhm.
people you're talking to anytime you talk. So we're on YouTube, you don't want to miss out on those people ready to go. So you're just like, if you need more and you need to learn this as quickly as possible, I break it down for you, I give you what you need, go take my course. Absolutely, this is a no-brainer. Here's the link. Basically, this is how you're wording it, but a little shorter, right? And then
Mhm.
you've got the
Right.
people who are just like, I need this information, I'm not quite sure what to do. Maybe not. I need a little bit more. Those people, you're going to give them lead magnets. So, lead magnet, once you have an entire course, it's really easy to build a lead magnet because in your online course, you're covering like dozens of topics. So once you do again your marketing research and you're listening to questions, like you can even just listen to the questions, say, oh, everybody, so Facebook ads, like I've got a course on Facebook ads, and people are always asking about, well, what's the best way to actually sell something on Facebook, right? I get that question all the time. So my lead magnet could be like, discover the best 10 ways to actually sell a product using a Facebook ad. That could be a lead magnet. And then, because it'll resonate with my audience and people be like, what? That's cool. I need that thing. Then you lead them to your landing page. They enter their name, they enter the email address. You've got that. Then you just make sure you have that really good follow up sequence. You keep in touch with them by email, and then you lead them to your course when they're ready. Okay. Because remember, these aren't the people that are willing to get the whole thing right away. They just need those bits. And then you keep feeding them the bits until they're ready, and then you present your course again. So that's what a lead magnet's job is. So when you write your description, you say, here's the course for you if you need it right away and you need the thing. And if you just want to learn the top 10 ways to sell to people on Facebook through a Facebook ad, get this free sheet, and you just go to this link and you put the link to that. So you're adding both links. Now, a cool thing that people don't know about YouTube as well is on your actual header, you can actually add a link to your lead magnet. It doesn't have to be to your web page. It doesn't have to be your social media accounts. Take them to your lead magnet all the time because you want to build your email. Your email list is always the most powerful marketing you have. So take that on your YouTube, just send them directly there, like right from the start.
Okay, very good. Why do you believe that the email marketing is so powerful?
Well, with email marketing, first of all, you own your audience, not like if it's on social media where people just aren't as focused on your stuff on social media unless they follow you loyally and they wait for your stuff and they know when it's coming out. But with email, I mean, you can reach them at any time. Now, email response rates. So everybody don't be sad if you do email marketing and you only get like a few percentage of people who are actually opening your emails. Industry standard in marketing is 23% is average. So 20 and it's kind of like average to good. So if you're getting 23% of people, that's great. There's not many other places you get 23% unless you pay for ads. So, email lists, you own it. You could send them out anything you want for free. You don't want to promote to them all the time. You want to keep them basically interested in you and interested in what you're doing. So keep consistent with it. Keep in front of them. Keep them liking you. Keep giving them tips. Keep being that helpful person and keep reminding them that you're the person that's going to help them reach their goals. Like just keep reminding them of that through what you say and what you're offering. And then when you have anything to offer, you can say, guys, I've got this now. This is really going to help you. You should really have a look at it. They're going to be like, yeah, you just gave me like 3 weeks worth of tips. Absolutely. I'm going to pick up this thing you're recommending. Right. So, yeah, email marketing, very, very powerful.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel about it. I mean, I always feel like if you have the email list, no matter what happens to any other platform, whether it be YouTube or Udemy or Skillshare or Facebook or whatever, at least you always have those emails to fall back on. If you run into a problem and you need to email your list, you have that. Like you said, you're going to have probably better open rates, and people will be more in tune to reading your emails than, like you said, on Facebook, where everyone's talking at the same time.
Exactly. No, exactly. And any of the big marketers always say, like, on average, they say you should always be making $1 per person on your email list. It just seems to be like an industry standard that that keeps no matter what. So you can imagine if you have a list of 1,000 people and you email them like once a month with a promo, you can make $1,000 a month just from your email list. So, and it's not, again, I don't like people focusing on this is how to make the most money. I like people focusing on when they're on your email list, you can help them a lot better. You could lead them to the things they need to know, make sure they don't miss things, and just keep in touch with them better, right? It's like, and then Facebook group, I would say, is also works really well for that. But there's just something about email and just that keeping in touch and keeping your name in front of them.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, very cool. Hopping back to Udemy for just a moment, because it's something I was also thinking about asking you. Say that you've got a course on Udemy, and you've got your YouTube channel, you're sending traffic to it, and it's doing pretty good, but it's really not doing as good as you would like for it to do. What would you do at that point? Would you try to improve that course and boost the rankings? Would you maybe create another course? What is your strategy for making the most success that you can out of a platform like Udemy?
I think one of the reasons I really like Udemy is because it's really based heavily on algorithms. And 'cause as an SEO expert, I'm like an algorithm geek. So I've learned some of the most important algorithms with Udemy. So there's some basic things you could do to help your course at any time. So one of them is driving your own traffic to your course. So do that through coupon sites. And there's specific Facebook groups that drive people to Udemy courses as well. So look at those. So you could get quite a few hundred people pretty quickly through just those two methods. And you drive people to your course. And again, Udemy algorithms pick up and your course starts ranking higher. Because let's face it, if you're not on the first page of Udemy, you're going to have a hard time getting students, right? Especially if you're in a competitive industry. So that'll help drive you up closer to the first page. Keyword research, really, really important. So again, with this free thing I'm giving you guys, it's going to show you my method to do keyword research. Put your keywords in your title. Ideally, it's nice to have your keyword in your title twice in two different ways. So it's a little bit of a trick I've learned. Put it in your description, obviously. That's going to help drive it up as well. Other things that drive it up is when people ask you questions, answer those questions because that drives the algorithms up. When people give you reviews, respond and thank them for the review or respond to their comments, that all drives it up. Sending out your emails to people, email open rates, like all of these little tiny things are things that count. What I always like to tell people with marketing, one of the tricks to marketing algorithms is anytime any platform gives you something to fill out, go fill it out. So even on Facebook, like how many of you on your Facebook pages have actually taken time to fill out your about sections or on your YouTube channel, like fill out those about sections. They make a difference. Put in your map. It makes a difference. Anytime it asks you a question or asks you to put a field in where you could put information in those fields. But same with Udemy, fill out your descriptions, fill out your bio, put your keywords in your bio, you put your links in to everything. Those all count and legitimize you. And those are all going to help the algorithms trigger to show your course first, which will drive up your sales.
Awesome. Cool. I like that. Yeah, that's I think everything that you hit on is probably what I would tell someone to that working on the keywords, the Q&A, the reviews, putting all those descriptions in. The platform also gives you a chance to put your external links inside of your profile. So that's another way to kind of get people off the platform is that they can let you put in your website, your YouTube channel, Facebook channel. So I always recommend filling those out too. So Some really great information. Just thinking about the person who is at the beginning of their journey. Maybe they don't have a course, maybe they have a little bit of a following, but they haven't created their course yet. And thinking about the past, 7 years of online course creation, helping others create courses, and your 20 plus years of SEO and marketing expertise. What is some advice that you could distill down to the beginner out there that you could help them with in their journey?
I've talked to many people and done many presentations on online courses. And what I find, which is really sad, is like people are really scared because sometimes when you haven't done something before, it seems like this big, scary monster, and you just got to get rid of that. So it's like anything else in the world. In order to like beat that scary monster, you just have to get started, right? Like just do that first step. So what I've got actually for your audience, I know I'm presenting it early, but the free course I'm going to give them, it's less than an hour, and it gives them just 3 things that they can do. Because what I do through that is I teach them the most important things they could do to start their online course. And when they do it, I promise every single person who finishes it will come out feeling more confident that they can actually do this, feeling more confident in their ability to do marketing, feeling a lot more confident on what they should be teaching about, how they should be teaching it, what their lessons should be, what their title should be. Because the 3 strategies I give them, like there's exercises involved, but once they do it, people come out and they're just like, I'm so much clearer. I feel so much better and I'm not scared anymore. Because that's my goal. Because once you defeat that fear and you actually have the goal and the vision of what you can do, everything else just falls into place. So yeah, so I think this thing I'll send people to is really, really going to be helpful.
Yeah, that sounds great. I would love to supply that for you to send out to the audience for anyone who wants to sign up. Do you have a link that you can tell on the podcast, or do you want me to just put it in the show notes for people?
Yeah, and let's do both if that's okay. But the link I created,
Yeah.
it's a Bitly link, just a nice short link. So as you guys probably know, Bitly is a link shortener. So it's just bit.ly. That's Bitly. So bit.ly and then /, and then build my course. That's it. Just nice and simple. Build my course. And you don't have to use capitals or whatever. Just put in so bit.ly / build my course, and that'll take you exactly to my landing page. So you enter your name, your email address, hit the big red button, and that'll take you to a free training. You'd pay nothing on Thinkific. And also, when you're taking it, you can kind of then get an idea of what a Thinkific course looks like and whether that's something you might want to use in the future too. So, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we'll make sure that we link that up in the show notes. And if anyone wants to go check that out, head on over there. Is there anywhere else that you would like to send people to find out more about you online?
I have a YouTube channel. So my YouTube channel, if you just look up Trisha Belmonte, when you get to YouTube, you'll come up to my channel. There's 2 things I would love people to look at that'll really help your audience. One, we talked about YouTube and the power of YouTube a lot. Many people don't have a good looking YouTube channel. So one of the videos I did is how to actually lay out your YouTube channel by category so it looks really good, and how to add in. Remember I said you could put a trailer video in. So it shows you how to do that. So definitely look up that YouTube video. The other one I'd love people to check out, for those of you who don't have any equipment to get started with your online courses and whatever, a really good tool to use is Canva. So I actually have a video on how to use Canva recordings and how to properly do it, whether you want to be on video or whether some people don't want to be on video. So I show you how to remove yourself from Canva videos, and Canva has a whole recording feature right in it. So have a look at that video as well if you're in a situation where you don't have equipment yet and you don't want to spend the money on it.
Okay, awesome. We will definitely link up your YouTube channel, your free offer that you have, and any other links you send me. We'll have on the show notes of this podcast episode. So make sure you go check those out. Trisha, thank you so much for coming on the show today. It's been absolutely amazing. I think you've given some really great advice for people, and I think they'll look forward to going and finding out more about you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jeremy. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. I commend you for listening because it shows you guys are committed to doing this. And like I said, don't get scared. If I could get started in this, you guys can get started in this. And you all are experts in some level. People are waiting to hear what you've got to say.
Thanks so much for joining us today, Trisha. You can find out more about her and her business by visiting builttosellonlinecourses.com, or you can get the show notes of this episode along with links and resources by visiting onlinecourseigniter.com/49. Take care and have a great week, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Online Course Igniter podcast. Make sure you subscribe wherever you're listening so that you don't miss an episode. If you would like to learn more marketing strategies and how to sell your online course, then also check out our free community where we share tips, tricks, and tutorials at onlinecourseigniter.com/community.